Hey, hello everybody. So I have my board out. So I made these special just for this project. It's a piece of foam core, it's glued on, so if it comes off, we just re-glue it again on both sides so it creates our nice right angle. Here's my master. So remember, you have two copies of this. The one you cut out and you glue onto your board, onto your piece of the glass, the one that you need to kind of be able to put your map together again. I'm just gonna grab some tape here, and I want to kind of tape this down and make sure this is nice and secure. When taping this down, we do want to take in consideration the thickness of your frame. So you don't want to go right up to the edge. You can take these, so these should already be cut, or you can cut them, and you want to bring them up until they basically just barely go underneath there. So you have it on both sides. I grab this other one and do the same thing. So it's just barely going to go underneath there. Once you have that placed, then we can tape this down. And I have my pins, and all the glass, that we're going to be using for this project. So remember, as a year 3 student, you are welcome to use, the full sheets of glass. This has already been cut out, and then again, we just use our glue sticks to glue this in place. Do make sure, like this is a piece that has a very textured side on here, that if you do want that, that side, you got to make sure that, you glue it on this side, because this side you want to cut, but you got to make sure this piece is flipped upside down. And I can review that with you if you kind of forget on that, because you can't cut on that heavily textured side. So kind of like in the past, we're going to start in a corner and then kind of work our way up. So I'm going to go grab my 2 sides that I cut for this already. Okay, so I have these cut. This is going to be my long one. I'm not going to worry right now about this extra part right here. And this is my shorter one on this side. And again, I'm not going to worry about getting this cut exactly. But I do want to grab my pins, because it gets frustrating when things are kind of moving, kind of all over the place. So I'm just going to grab a series of pins right there. Get this, pinned right up against there, nice and tight. Traditional way you do this is you actually use nails, kind of like in wood. We're using kind of like this board that I think was used for watercolors. It works pretty well. Just to keep this in place. And we get one more in here. Okay, so now I'm gonna get my number 16, I'm gonna get that cut out. So it is right here. So again, we wanna square in the shape. Because, this is already kind of like a nice angle, I don't wanna leave a gap. That's just making more work for yourself. You wanna cut right along that line, and then kind of off to the side here, maybe even hit that tip, and that's squaring it in. This one would be a little trickier. This one I probably would go, straight across, hit it, and, then off like that, and then I would go around and tweak everything. But just don't go around and cut everything and have a gap all around everything. If you can hit a line, hit the line, okay? Otherwise, you actually literally cut the piece out twice. It takes forever. Looking at this one right here, it's already been done by the students. We try to share a line with this. So you try to always use lines that already exist, if you can. Okay, and when I square this one in, I'm gonna go right along this line here. This will be a super easy one to cut. And then I'll cut along this line here, I'll cut along this line here. I'm not gonna just cut them out so they have these large gaps. This one was not cut out as well because you could have brought this over and it would have made it a little bit easier. But it's also very possible that this has some spots in here that she really wanted. Okay, so just make sure you do this as efficiently as you possibly can. Okay, I'm gonna get this all cut out right here, and then I'm gonna show you how to get the next wire done. Okay, now I have this piece cut out, and I just used the grinding wheel to kind of edge it off and everything. I'm gonna go take over to the sink. I'm gonna peel this off because we're gonna put it here, so I don't need to know what number this is anymore or anything like that. I'm gonna get it all cleaned, and then I'm gonna come back. Okay, now that I have this piece cut out and cleaned, I'm going to set it right inside these channels. If it doesn't fit real well, you can always grab kind of a rawhide hammer and just kind of tap it until she slides into those channels. But you need to get it into them because you want to make sure that they fit real good. Okay, so now this is secure. I got those 2 pins here still. I have 2 pins over here, and I can see that black line. So as long as I can see that black line, I'm good. Because the next part is to put a channel, an eye channel inside of there, so then we can cut probably number 14 and then 13 and then 15. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab some of the eye channel. Okay, now that I have this, I just took, I don't know, like 18 inches or so off of this. I stretch it a little bit, but if it's already really straight, you don't have to do that. You're probably not gonna want to do that, to tell you the truth. But now I need to get this set inside of here. So I'm gonna get this lined up within the glass, get a decent idea of where this is actually gonna be ending, because we'll be rending this around this corner here, back inside here. So I think I don't need anything here. I think I still have a little bit too much. But now I want to get this channel inside of here. But remember, top priority is make sure the glass is within this black line. If it's outside of it, you're just going to run into a lot of problems. So you have to kind of get each one of them right. Okay, now I'm getting down to an area where I do want to be a little more exact. So remember, the flat side is where you want to keep it. Hang on to these little pieces. You can have like a little jar or something yourself. But I can take this and I can push this in where the glass is at. This is coming out a little bit there. You really want to make sure that glass is sitting inside of that channel. It's a big thing you need to work on. Okay. Now I don't have the best piece right here because it's coming off a little bit too much. But there's not a whole lot I can do about that aside from, I'm going to press that down so at least it's level with this channel here because I bent it a little bit too much with this. So do be cautious with that. Because you do want to make sure that is nice and flat against there. So this one's done. My next thing is I'm going to cut this 14-inch, and I'm going to go around there. So you're going to learn that you want to be a little generous on when you end up cutting these. You want to get these as close as you possibly can. Sometimes even a little bit more if you can get in there, because you need to have that gap as you kind of work on this. So. Other than that, hang on to your pieces. Do be careful using this. You kind of need to use it, but at the same time, you want to avoid it. It's always nice to have a little rawhide hammer next to you. You can kind of press that in and get those nice and tight, and you shouldn't have a big issue with it. So other than that, good luck on the project, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye.